To discuss what happened yesterday and the big game, it's Ross Tucker, Westwood One NFL Analyst, host of the Even Money Podcast, and on Twitter at Ross Tucker NFL. Good morning, sir. How are you today?
Morning, guys. I'm awesome. Yeah, I'm fantastic. I wish the first game had been a little bit better yesterday that I was on the sideline for, but yeah, I'm excited about the Super Bowl matchup for sure. You guys know I live outside of Philadelphia, so a lot of excitement about the Kelsey brothers going against each other. That's never happened before. And obviously, Andy Reid, for most people in Philadelphia, is still very much a beloved figure. So, look, make no mistake about it. They want to beat him. But it's kind of cool that either the Eagles win or Andy Reid wins for some Philadelphia fans out there.
All right, so you were on sidelines yesterday on Westwood One. And, yeah, you're right. That game was a stink bomb yesterday. But I've said this on the show so far this morning, Ross. They could play that game 100 times. It's not going to go down like that probably another time out of the 100 because it was the variance was off the charts with what happened. But when could you tell like that was going to be it for Brock Purdy, that he could not throw the football?
Well, a couple of things need to be said here. Like, it's a shame that happened.
Yep.
Because I'm on the Niners sideline most of the time because I try to get as much TV time as I can, so I go on the away team sideline when the guys run out of bounds. But in all sincerity, McCaffrey was playing his, you-know-what off. And he had one of the best touchdown runs I've ever seen. That run was sick by McCaffrey. Deebo Samuel's over there like volunteering to return kicks and punts to try to get the Niners back in. I mean, those guys, Fred Warner, Bosa, they were doing everything they could, but it was pretty clear early in the second half that this just wasn't going to happen for them. That said, it was 7-0, and the Eagles had just gotten a strip sack in Niners territory when Purdy got hurt. So you guys know the numbers. We talk about it a lot on the Even Money Betting Podcast, but Eagles were probably a pretty heavy favorite when Purdy got hurt because they're already up a touchdown and they have the ball in Niners territory. The Niners aren't really designed to come from behind. Now, give them credit. They battled the rest of the first half, got it to 7-7, but at the end of the first half, those penalties and then the turnover, that just did them. And I don't think anyone thought the Niners were going to come back from 21-7 at halftime. Then they come out in the second half, and they come out throwing. Their O-line cannot block the Eagles' pass rushers one-on-one. Josh Johnson gets hurt. And that's the other thing, too. These were not like fluke injuries. They're part of the game, and the Eagles kind of earned those injuries, right? I mean, they hit the quarterback really hard. They hit him in the arm. They threw him down to the ground. Like, those were injuries that the Eagles' D-line were able to achieve. I know that's not what they were looking to do, but that's part of football.
So you're doing your job. You're trying to gather information. When do you know, oh, boy, Johnson's out? Now it's back to Purdy, but I don't even think he can throw.
Well, so I had been told that Juszczyk was the emergency quarterback for the 49ers.
Yeah.
So Johnson gets slammed down, and I see the ref go over to Johnson and start talking to him. And immediately Juszczyk runs over to the sideline. And I say, holy crap, it's happening. Juszczyk's going in at quarterback. I mean, I know why they didn't do it, but I'm fascinated to see what that offense would have looked like with Juszczyk at quarterback. But I see that they're making Johnson come off, and then Purdy comes in, and I'm thinking, I wonder if Purdy, with the adrenaline, gets back out there. Maybe he can't fire it down the field, but maybe he can dink and dunk a little bit and be able to get him. But he really was not able to do it, obviously. I think he threw one screen pass maybe or a couple screen passes, but he was really hurting. I saw them. I was 5 feet behind him. They were rubbing a balm on the front of his bicep tendon and his bicep. Then on the back, I mean, they did everything they could on the sideline. They needed Mr. Miyagi, to go like this and just heal him. But I could tell that he was in a bad spot. And at halftime, I was with Kyle Shanahan and Aaron Andrews, and Aaron Andrews said, what about Purdy? Can he come back in the second half? And Kyle said, I'm told he's a no. So he literally only came back because Johnson got hurt, and at least Purdy could operate the run game part of the offense.
Wow. Amazing. It's Follow the Money here on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Ross Tucker, our guest analyst, Westwood One, and again, the Even Money Betting Podcast. So then take us through in real time the decision early first quarter here for Shanahan not to challenge what was a drop by Devontae Smith. I know that a lot of people, because it was like the body language, right? It was a hurry up. Smith was given the sign like, guys, we got to go here. But Shanahan, he wanted to do it, but he said we might burn a challenge here because he was not sure if it was a drop or not. Take us through that situation.
Right. So one thing I want to mention, okay, because I study the rules really hard for my broadcasting duties. You know how there's a lot of plays where replay assist, the league office has been helping them out on, first of all, it's supposed to be only objective things like the clock or out of bounds or not. They've gotten into some gray areas there, but it's not supposed to be judgment calls, which is what that would have been. Also, they're very clear that replay assist is not going to step in if the team is in a hurry up. That's in the rules. So replay assist is not going to stop the game and say, hey, we need to take some other looks at this. That is incumbent upon the coach, Kyle Shanahan. I think obviously hindsight's 20/20, but given that it was 4th and 3 and that's the difference between the Eagles deep in your territory versus you getting the ball at midfield. And the body language of Smith, I think it would have been worth the challenge, obviously in hindsight, by Shanahan. I'm sure he regrets that. That place went wild. Obviously, it looked like a catch from my angle. And even I think I was told by people the first couple, when you watched it live on TV, you thought it was a catch. It wasn't until they came back from break or looked at it a couple more times that they realized it really wasn't. Kudos to Sirianni and the Eagles for getting on the ball right away. And that's coaching. Get up on the ball, snap it. Who cares if that next play stinks? You're already deep in their territory. And kudos to Sirianni for challenging the Purdy elbow injury fumble because I thought that was incomplete forward pass because the ball went forward. But he actually hit it when it was back, and then his elbow hit it forward. So on the challenge front early in the game, Sirianni clearly got the better of Shanahan, and it was impactful for sure.
Got a lot going on there. Did you see the ball hit the wire? The punt?
Yes. And actually, from my vantage point, I thought there were gusts of wind. So I thought it was a gust of wind that took it. But it was the angle was so different. And the punters know. Like, even if it wasn't a great hit, great punt by Kerns, the punters know the path of their punts. So when it's going like this, and all of a sudden it makes a left-hand turn, the punter knows he was going crazy. But I guess the TV wire is so thin they can't tell for sure whether or not it hits it. Get the wire out of the way.
Yep.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Early thought here on the number and the Eagles being favored?
Whew, that's a tough one for me. It really is. The Eagles are the more talented team.
Yeah.
The Eagles are definitely the healthier team right now. I'd love to know more about the Chiefs receivers. I'd love to know more about what's going on with L'Jarius Sneed at corner for the Chiefs. But they also have the best player. And I think he's the best player on the planet. And I don't think it's a small margin. Mahomes is incredible.
Yeah.
For some reason, it's like we've lost sight of that. Or we're always kind of looking for the next guy. Is it Burrow? Is it Josh Allen? Is it Hurts? What Mahomes did yesterday, you could tell that ankle was really bothering him.
Yep.
I mean, there were some plays where, it was really hurting him. And now he has 2 weeks to let it heal. Still not going to be 100% though. And that Eagles D-line is just relentless. I'd probably still lean to the Chiefs if I'm going to get a couple points, but I think the Eagles probably win the game. I can see why the line movement has been what it is. Eagles are the better team, but in a close game like this, I guess I have more faith in Mahomes to make that play late in the game to win like he did last night.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.